So I wanted to show you guys Zillow sold off yesterday due to earnings, right? And I decided to buy the dip, and I am up over 10% on Zillow stock. I went in with 150 shares, which was a little bit under $10,000. That's about a 10% position size, as I intend to invest over $100,000 into Zillow stock. So with just buying it yesterday and today alone, I'm up over 10%, $958. I want to share two things with you. I want to share with you how I found this stock, and the second, what I plan to do with it, how I plan to trade it. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. And friendly reminder, right? If you guys have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I upload new videos every single day. So make sure you drop a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. One of the first things that I want to cover is how is it that you can come across stocks like this? Well, on the Webull trading platform, one of the things that I like to do on a daily basis is, people are always looking for the biggest runners, right? The stocks that are the most, trending stocks. I like swing trading stocks. I definitely like day trading, but I definitely like swing trading, I would say, a little bit more. I like swing trading blue chip stocks or good quality companies. Zillow was just a company that I'm very familiar with, as I am an avid real estate investor. But when it comes down to this little markets tab on the left hand side, one of the things that you have access to is the top gainers and top losers. And Zillow during the aftermarket hours, which is actually a selection that you can select, Webull itself will filter out any of the top losers after market hours, but vice versa. Let's say you don't like top losers, you like to focus on top gainers because that's your focus, that's your intention. All power to you. Again, you can make the adjustments during pre-market, aftermarket, in the past 5 minutes, the overall day, the 5 minute, the overall month, and Webull will allocate that with just this tab alone. So I find that to be very, very useful. On top of that, you need to be aware of when companies report earnings, right? And that was just something that I was aware of. I tend to follow up with Zillow from time to time. And because of what they announced, because of this big drop and what was shared, I saw that it was down over 27% yesterday. So now I want to talk about, now that we talked about how I found it, I now want to talk about how do I plan to trade it? I'm up 10% on Zillow. Am I going all in now? What's the plan, right? Am I going to buy another $90,000 worth of Zillow? Here is how I plan to trade it. One of the things that I love to remind you is just because I'm doing something does not mean that you need to follow. I just want you to understand the why behind what I'm doing, the thought process behind it. So one of the main things that I like to focus on is, like I said, I like to focus on stocks that are normally very bullish because it's much easier to make money off of a stock when the direction is in your favor. But Zillow has been struggling for the past, I would say, almost a year. You can see that it peaked during the February of 2021, and it's been making lower highs and lower lows. So we can't expect Zillow to make a full recovery. That would be a little bit more hopeful, or can't really expect to make that recovery anytime soon. But it normally tends to validate the EMA line as somewhat of a resistance level. As this thing sells off, it tends to recover to some point, right? Yesterday was, in my opinion, an overreaction. Zillow announced yesterday that they are cutting back, or therefore letting go of 25% of their workforce when it comes down to their home buying program. Everyone begins to freak out, but you need to understand, Zillow was in this market when there was one of the strongest bull runs in real estate, right? And they had very small margins, and their focus was to try to predict 6 months ahead. Now, because of this very strong bull run that we just experienced, meaning that, I'm sure you guys experienced it, or at least heard of it, where real estate houses or real estate prices were going above asking price. This is very difficult for Zillow to compete with now 6 months moving forward, because we don't know if we're going to have that same type of momentum and or if demand levels will pull back, right? So it makes sense on why Zillow is holding back from that home buying program, right? And letting go of 25%. Yes, it might be viewed as a negative notion. I viewed it as not such a big deal, and that is why I was paying attention to it. So now let's talk about the position size. I went in with a 10% position size. And when would I like to buy more, right? When is the right time to buy more? Again, this is my plan. So the reason I only went in it with 10% was not because I could predict that it was going to go up 10% from when I bought. If I knew it was going to go up 10% from when I bought, I would have bought in with $100,000, right? The whole purpose of me going in with only 10% is to manage and mitigate risk. I went in because I viewed Zillow to be a decent deal, but I knew that Zillow was selling off. It was down 20% yesterday. It was down nearly 30%. I know that Zillow can still sell off. It can still continue to dip. So why would I go all in into a stock that's still selling off? It just doesn't make sense, right? If I'm so certain If you're so certain that a stock is going to recover, then challenge yourself. Set alerts and wait for that proper indication of a reversal, right? If you're so certain that something's going to recover, then challenge yourself to wait for that confirmation. So all I'm waiting for is for Zillow to actually begin to indicate signs of a recovery of an established support level, right? It's sold off already. I want it to establish a support level, and then I want it to begin to recover. It doesn't need to do it quickly. It doesn't need to do it within a very short period of time. I'm patient, and I would love to slowly average up into Zillow. So the first step would be breaking above $70 a share or $72, right? Actually indicating signs of an uptrend. The next step is then breaking above the EMA line and or getting close to it on the 4-hour time frame, as we have broken above that, right? And then as we approach the moving average, then getting ready to lock in profit. So from overall lows to overall highs, there's again nearly 40% margin, which is why I viewed Zillow to be so attractive. I don't expect to make 40%, even if I make just half of that. I'm not a perfect trader. Why pretend to do so, right? But why pretend like you're going to have a perfect trade? If I have 40% margins to work with, I don't need to buy at the lowest price point. You don't need to buy at the lowest price. You don't need to, average up perfectly. You just need to make sure that you make sense of every action that you take. And that's all I'm going to be doing is I have these effective alerts. If it breaks below, as it 100% can, so I stay updated, I still only have a 10% position size, and I'm not going to buy more until we get higher highs, until we have a confirmation of established support, and then we begin to work our way up. And then if we begin to break above 72, I'll add another 10 to 20%, so I'll be in with anywhere from around $20,000 to $30,000. And then as we get closer to the EMA line, I can be in closer to $50,000. And then from there, as we then begin to approach the moving average, I will then either need to be as close to $100,000 as possible, and or if I'm only in with $60,000 or $70,000 by that time due to the way that I average up, then so be it, right? The goal is to be in with $100,000 and to average up effectively, but I'm not going to force a $100 entry just for the sake of having $100,000 into a position. It needs to make sense. The direction needs to be in my favor, and I want to stay calculated and effective and not just be impulsive and hopeful. And I'm sure that makes sense to all of you guys. So you can let me know in the comment section what you think about my plan. I only want to buy more and add more to my Zillow position when it begins to indicate signs of a steady uptrend. I have 40% margins to work with just for it to recover to the moving average, not previous highs, not all-time highs, just the moving average. I have so much margin. I don't need to rush the process. I don't need to rush into it. You don't need to rush into it. Allow the opportunity to present itself if you're that certain. It's a challenge, right? It's challenging you to stay patient, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. I'm challenging you to stay patient with any opportunity you choose to take advantage of, so you stay effective and, of course, efficient. So we had an amazing live trading session today. I don't know if you've ever watched me trade live, but I do want to encourage you. I would love to give you access to tomorrow's live trading session, and all you have to do is message me on Instagram. So my Instagram is down in the description. It's the first link in the description, and just message me. I want access to tomorrow's live trading session, and I'll send it on over to you. I respond to all of my direct messages via Instagram. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that it earned your thumbs up. I hope you learned something new. And if you guys did, please make sure you subscribe. Until the next time, like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.